Okay, let's turn past this, and now you're going to see some division going on with these exponents. So you got the parentheses, this exponent's been circled, okay. Now there's going to be a top and bottom. When you got a division line and you got stuff on the bottom, you do the top and bottom, you label the top and bottom bases separately, you figure the exponents separately, okay. So it's all lined up for you. So you're like, there's two A's plus. No, not when it moves to the bottom of the line, because it's not times, it's dividing, okay? So we got a base 2 to the first, and then 1 times 4 is 4. Then on top you got a base A to the 2, 2 times 4 is 8. Now you find the A on top, then B, find the B on top, 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, those bases on bottom now. Okay, at the bottom of our line. So 5 times A times B, put the times dots in if you want. Okay, so 5AB. 5's to the 1, but we're still inside of the parentheses, so we got to take the 1 times 4. And that's 4. And the A and the B likewise. The 1 will suffice, but then you got to take 1 times 4. That's 4. B1, 1 times 4 is 4. Now, here's what you have to do when you have stuff on bottom. You want to cross out if possible. Like you have a 5 on bottom, do you have a 5 on top? No. You got an A on bottom and you have an A on top, so you get rid of the one on the bottom and then minus it from the top, and 8 minus 4 ends up as 4. So this A is now to the power of 4. You got B on bottom, you got a B on top? Sure we do. Minus 4. 12 minus 4 then is 8. Now it's simplified, and now go do your top first. You can simplify 2 to the 4th. You can't simplify the A and the B. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. You can do caret if you want, but make sure you're not just taking 2 times 4. Then we put the letters. Now you got this thing on the bottom we still have, 5 to the 4th. So you simplify that. But whatever this is goes on bottom, and that's going to be 625. Now, you don't do anything with these two, okay? You times if you can, which you can't because you run right into the A, but you don't need to simplify. That can be a fraction. 16 times A to the 4th times B to the 4th over 625. Okay, next problem. If you have two separate lines, that's fine. You can combine it into one as long as there's a times between them, which there is. So I've set up the bases here. 8 times 2 times x times y, and then x times y. Now, do the top first, 8, okay? You have 1, 8, okay? So 8 to the first, okay? 2, how many bases 2's do you have on top? You got 1 right there. It's to the 1, but that's in the parentheses, so we take 1 times 5, that's 5. Now, how many x's do you have across the top? I don't care about the bottom yet. 1, 2, so we put a plus sign. We have a 3, not in parentheses, and then a 1 in parentheses there. So 1 times 5 is 5. You don't worry about the bottom until we're done with the top. 8 plus 3 plus 5 is 8. Circle the power. Then y, you got y. How many y's do you have across the top? 1, 2. So a plus is needed there. So I got a 4. And a 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. Okay. Now you're set on top. Now go to the bottom. X. How many x's do you got across the bottom? 1, 2. So we need a plus. So this x here is to the 1, not in a parentheses, so that's why I just write a 1 down. And then after the plus, you got this x to the third, but that is not in the parentheses either, because the parentheses ends on the top. So I don't take 3 times 5. I just write a 3 down. So 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay. Now y. Okay, how many y's do you have on the bottom? There's 2. So plus is needed. You have a 5th power. And then a 1st power, which is not in a parentheses, so it's free. So 1. So 5 plus 1 is 6. Now, see what you can cross out. You got x on bottom, you got it on top. So we get rid of the x to the 4th and minus 4 from the 8. So now that's a 4. Circle it. Okay. Then a y on bottom, y on top. Get rid of the y on bottom. Now it's 9 minus 6, which is 3. So now we have y to the 3rd. Okay, now we're set to come over here. I can do 8 to the 1st and 2 to the 5th. X to the 4th I can't do. Y to the 3rd I can't do. So 8 to the 1st is 8. Okay. Then the 2 to the 5th equals 32. And then the letters x to the 4th. After all that mess, x ends up to the 4th. And then y ends up to the 3rd. Now you want to times if possible, which it is possible. 8 times 32. That's 256. Okay, and then the last problem. The bases are all set too. Okay, remember it's one whole line. So you got some parentheses. So you got a 3, B, and C on top. So 3 on top, how many are there? There's just one base 3 on top. So 1 times 3 is 3. Those little things I circle are exponents, they're not bases. Then B, how many B's you got across the top? You have 2. Okay. So first we have a 4, but 4 has to be multiplied by 3. That's 12. B here's 3. 3 times 3 is it's 9. 12 plus 9 then makes 21. Circle that for now. Okay. Circle that for now. Okay, see how many C's you get across the top. Don't say 4. There's only 2 across the top. Okay. Then 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Then this one, 2 times 3 is 6. So 3 plus 6 makes 9. Okay, then 6. Now you're on bottom. 6 to the 1 still looks like we're inside the parentheses, so 1 times 3. That's 3. 7, how many 7s you got on the bottom? Just 1. So 1 times 3, 3. Then C's, how many C's do you have across the bottom? You have 2, so you need a plus there. So 1 times 3 is 3. And this is a 1, still in parentheses. 1 times 3 is 3. Now you need to add those right now. That's 6. So C to the 6th. Now see what you can cross out. You got a base 6 on bottom. You got a base 6 on top? No. Base 7, no base 7. But you do have a C. So you have a 6th and a 9th. Well, we get rid of the 1 on the bottom. And now this is not going to be a 9 anymore because I need to take 9 minus 6, and that's 3. Now circle it. Now we're ready to move over here. I've crossed out what I could. Now on top, you can simplify that, but not that, and not that. So 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Variables will stay the same. You can't multiply any of that because you run right into the B. Now bottom, I can simplify that and that, okay? So whatever these become go on bottom. So 6 times 6 times 6, 7 times 7 times 7, that's 216, and that's 343, okay? So I put 216 times 343, and you do not have any letters or variables on bottom, but you do need to times those. There's no reason why you cannot multiply the 216 by the 343. 74,088.